Okay everyone, thank you for looking at this video. This is my new Warcraft 3 project, which I'm doing. The purpose of this game is to create a Battle Royale type of game, using a lot more PvE elements rather than focus on PvP. At the start of the game, as you can see, you get to choose which of your primary stats you want to use. Endurance is mainly the health, so focusing on survivability. Weaponry focuses on your attack damage. Tactics focuses on your mana and turret. Of course, these are just edited versions of strength, agility, and intelligence, so nothing too special there. Alright, so I'm going to choose, just for the demonstration here, I'm going to choose weaponry to get some more damage. So we just wait a little while now. Normally in an online game this timer would run down, but as we're playing in single player, the timer freezes. Now this is where it's a bit more different. You now choose a debuff attack type. So for those of you who have played Dark Souls, you will recognize this system very well. So in Dark Souls, if an enemy has a poison weapon and hits you, you don't instantly get poisoned. Instead, you take some poison damage, and if you have a lot of poison resistance, you take less of that damage, for example. So I'm going to pick Fire here, which is essentially a fast-acting version of Poison. It does damage over 8 seconds rather than damage over 20 seconds. So I'll choose Fire. And then after 10 seconds, my hero will spawn in. Now, of course, this is a pre-alpha version, so there's no special cinematics or anything like that. So, here we are. Now, we spawn in a random place, and we have these 6 abilities here. So, we're going to run around and fight some zombies. Let's learn on the run, shall we? You'll notice as well there's a number up here at the top which says Scourge Factor. That is basically a number which dictates the strength of enemies. Now at the beginning of the game, very simple to kill enemies with a single shot. And we've got a fire rune here, which as you can see now says my fire attack is 13. So if I use a special ability, it will deal fire damage, which may set the opponent on fire if they have low fire resistance, for example. So we can run around here and find some enemies. Now if you look on the minimap, I'm heading towards a green ping at the bottom left. That's a boss, and bosses in this game are unique, and they give you rewards when you kill them. But when you kill them, the Scourge Factor will increase, and when the Scourge Factor increases, enemies will deal more damage. So let's take a look. Now if you see here, there's a kind of magical effect going around the circle. That indicates the boss's leash range. If you try to take a boss out of this zone, it will go back to its position. So let's find the boss. Okay, the boss is the Flesh Maw, which uses these ranged attacks here. And he also has a poison attack as well. There we go. So you see, I have this 18, 16, 15 above my character's head. That's because I took some poison damage. I've now been diseased, so I can't heal. Let's put a turret down. And you can see we're just kind of fighting the boss here, and it's diseased me a few more times. Okay, so I actually deal enough damage there to the boss to deal fire damage, so he's taking some damage over time now. Keeps shooting his dead projectiles at me. So disease is a debuff which, as you can see from the text there, it disables my healing and health regen. So there, I tried to heal myself, 0. Okay, the boss is almost dead, so we're getting there. Okay, we set him on fire again there, and there he goes. Okay, so now the boss has died, we've gained some weaponry, stat, poison attack, poison resistance, debuff multipliers as well. So our attacks actually deal more debuff damage. And there's a lot of stats in this game. Now if you want to see all the stats, you can just type -S, and you'll get a full printout here of your level, experience, stats, debuff attack stats, and debuff resistances. So the way the debuffs work, you can see here I still have this 47 number above my character's head, which is slowly ticking down. that is my poison. So if that number reaches 100, I will be poisoned, and I will take I'll take a lot of damage. So the main focus of the game is to find and defeat enemies, but at night, like now, the enemies will actually come and find me. And the game currently, in this pre-alpha stage, has 40 different units right now, 40 different monsters, separated into different categories and different level brackets. And the level of enemies that spawn is dependent on the current Scourge factor. So as you kill more enemies, the Scourge factor gets higher, you get higher level, etc. That's how the game kind of scales up there. Okay. So as you can see, I'm kind of fighting these enemies, and I just got an item combination there. So I picked up 2 items which have a recipe. So most of you that have played custom Warcraft 3 maps, you've probably experienced items before, so item recipes, so nothing too special there. Okay. Now, for the sake of demonstration, I am going to get myself poisoned on purpose here, just to show you how the system works. So I'm going to keep this spider alive here and let it bite me. So it bit me there for 11% poison damage. And of course you can gain more poison resistance as you play the game and get more items, and that will allow you to be poisoned less often or less easily. So if I get bitten a lot of times here by these spiders, it reaches 100%. And there you go, poison, 44 damage over 20 seconds. And then the meter resets back to 0, or at least it takes off 100 there. Yeah. So you'll notice the abilities I've been using so far. So we have a shot skill, which is just a single projectile to start with. But it can get a lot more interesting. We can get lots of different variations on these abilities. We have a turret here, which helps you defend your position much more easily. And we can take on the enemies how we want. So, as you can see, there's also items dropping on the ground, and you can see there's a timer on the items here. The items actually expire after 20 seconds, so this is a system that I wrote myself. And also, if I drop an item onto the floor, you can see the timer starts there as well. But if I pick up the item, the timer is removed. Okay, so this is just a method of saving memory space on the game and deleting items that are no longer needed. So there's a lot of consideration here for the online experience. This game can be played by 22 players, so I need to be considerate of my memory footprint, things like that, and of course I'm considering that. Now, if you look at the top of the screen, there's also a timer here, which is just on 30 seconds now. This is a timer that will redistribute the locations of all the bosses and also the shops, which you can see on the minimap. So when that reaches about another 20 seconds or so, we will see them all change, which this is, again, a way to encourage the players to explore, move around, and encounter other players as well. So the timer's just about to run out. 2, 1, and here we go. Okay, so everything's now moved. There's new pings for the boss locations. Sadly, there's no bosses near us, but there is a shop, and that may give us a good opportunity to show you some of the spell upgrades that we can get here. So I mentioned spells earlier, and you'll notice I've used this skill a few times called Shot, which just deals damage in a straight line to a single unit. Very, very simple. But if you type -Q, you can get some detailed information here telling you the exact damage, how much debuffs they will inflict with that projectile, and also any hidden stats like multipliers, which you gain from killing bosses or special items and things like that. You can do this also for the grenade skill, which again will show you all the detail you need there, and also the turret skill as well. -R. There we go. So you can get all the information. But that's not everything. So here I can buy an upgrade for my shot type. So you can see here, this is the Pierce shot. So when I type -Q, it tells me my shot type, what it does. When I buy the upgrade, it now tells me to type -Q for new details, and we have a new tooltip, telling you that it hits enemies in a line, deals better damage, more debuffs, and when I shoot the projectile, you'll see it's different now. Okay, so we got new abilities. Currently in the game, I have implemented 6 different types of shot ability, 6 different types of grenades, and 5 different types of turrets, all very unique, very different skills, designed for different builds and different ways to play the game. You can play this game currently in cooperative with up to 22 players, and the game will automatically scale and adjust itself based on the number of players. Or you can play in Battle Royale mode, which is the main focus of the game's development. In Battle Royale mode, you will encounter other players, fight them, shoot your spells and projectiles at them, inflict them with debuffs, and you have to fight off the zombies at the same time, making player versus player encounters a lot more risky. You may have noticed the map size is also very, very large. It's actually the largest that the standard Warcraft 3 editor will allow at the moment, and this is mainly because I wanted to create a very large environment, make player versus player interaction limited so as not to be too constant, and it also encourages exploration, people running around, things like that. So I'm going to take on this boss here. As you can see, I actually got a stun on the boss there, thanks to my stun damage stat. And I can begin shooting the boss here using my turret as a distraction. And that should about do it. There we go. Okay, so that was a fairly easy boss, that one. So the reward again, I gained some extra weaponry, I gained some damage multiplier, grenade damage multiplier, and again an extra skill point for killing that boss. And now nighttime has come, so here come the enemies once again. So this is the general kind of game loop that I'm going for here. Enemies drop items, you can sell items to shops, buy new items, get upgrades, customize your skills. That's what I'm going for here. If the game seems interesting to you, please let me know on the Hive Workshop thread. You can send me a private message, or you can post in the thread that this video is in, and I will be able to respond. You can play with or against me, Battle Royale or co-op, I don't mind, and get to learn the game a little better. But for now, I hope you're interested, and hope to see you again soon.